Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on Cobblers Vlogs, where today we're not quite as positive as we were on Saturday, but we are still positive. The Cobblers have picked up a good point on the road. They've gone to Rochdale, went 1-0 up, got pulled back to 1-1 with a late equaliser from the Dale. Fantastic free kick in my opinion, but we'll get into that a bit later. So yeah, let's have a look at what I thought of the game, what you guys thought of the game following the Cobblers draw with the Dale. So yeah, going over what happened in the match, I think there was a lot of things that probably the Cobblers could have done a lot better. I think we started quite slowly in both halves. I think in the second half we never really got going, but we'll move on to that in just a minute. Started quite slowly in the first half. Rochdale, they reminded me of sort of Arsenal in the way they're just sort of slow passing. It wasn't really very exciting to watch, and then they tried to sort of turn it on when they could and maybe string a few passes together, and get that sort of passing rhythm going, and then they sort of just passed it around the back for a bit and then went long, which was a bit odd, but yeah, whatever they want to do. So yeah, I thought that was a bit strange from Rochdale in terms of the way they played, just sort of playing out from the back, and then when they got to the halfway line it just sort of went like that. But in the first half, I think it was a good game to watch. I think as a neutral, you would have enjoyed watching that game. I think both sides were sort of trying to create chances, trying to play the right way. So yeah, both sides were definitely in it in the first half, and it was a really competitive game. The Cobblers' first goal, again, using Harry Smith for what he's good at. Fantastic whip ball, and I can't remember if it was a free kick or a corner, but it was definitely from out wide. Whipped in, Harry Smith rose above everyone, bosh, headed it in, straight past the Rochdale keeper, no chance. Bullet header from the Smudge Meister up top. So yeah, really good for him to continue his goal scoring run. He's obviously scored 3 goals in just 4 days now, or 3 goals in 2 games, however you want to look at it, which is fantastic, and hopefully he can continue that form and maybe score, if he gets into double figures this season. I think he's done a good job, and he's already a third of the way there with 3. In terms of Ricky Holmes, I think he's just unbelievable, because every time he gets the ball he makes something happen, and it's what we want to see. It's not a sideways pass, it's not a backwards pass, it's something forward, or it's a piece of skill. He beats a man and then plays it off. Something happens with Ricky Holmes, and I really noticed that tonight with the Cobblers. And then obviously, again, that was mostly noticed when in the second half he came off, and obviously the journalists that were at the game were kind of saying that he was like, oh, it's been a long 2 years. He came off and he was absolutely knackered, having given everything for the shirt for 65 minutes, I think he came off, something like that. But yeah, going back to that second half, I thought we looked a bit flat in the second half. Obviously, Holmes did come off, which maybe contributed to that, but we definitely were sort of pinned back a little bit in our own half and sort of tried to hit them on the break. And we nearly scored that last-minute winner with Harry Smith, where Mitchell walloped it out of his hands. Smith ran onto it, just literally got whatever he could onto the header, which I think he did really well to do. And it was sort of just slowly just trickling towards the goal and their defender. I think, to be honest, I'm not the best defender, I'm not the quickest, but I think I probably would have got there. So yeah, but yeah, he did everything he could, and it was unlucky that he didn't score. But happy with the point on the road. I think second half could have been a bit better. I think we were a bit flat, and Rochdale sort of penned us in a little bit. But yeah, really happy with the point on the road against a Rochdale side whose league position doesn't really reflect their ability. I don't know how many games they've played, if they've had games postponed or whatever, but I think for them to be down in wherever, I think they're below us, I think is probably a bit harsh on them, and sort of underestimates them a little bit in terms of the way they play, the players they've got, and I think they will be all right this season. And hopefully that's the sort of ambition we can aim for, around that sort of 16th position, which I think is where that result has left us in the table. Yeah, I think that's pretty much where I'm going to leave it for the game. I think I've pretty much made every point that I wanted to make there. I don't think there's anything negative really to say, apart from 1 or 2 defensive errors, 1 or 2, I think we gave away too many silly fouls on the edge of the area and out wide, but that would be my only sort of criticism, which gave Rochdale a good chance from set pieces. But otherwise, I think we sort of shut them out quite well, despite them having a lot of the ball. I think it was about 70-30, it must have been possession-wise. Yeah, so my only complaints really, a bit flat in the second half, obviously after Holmes going off, maybe a bit too tired, and he'll be key for us this season. So yeah, a bit flat in the second half, and I think maybe just throughout the game, just giving away too many silly free kicks. And again, the free kick that they scored was a brilliant free kick. I can't really question the goalkeeping. I think it was just a great strike into the top corner. Yes, it was on the keeper's side. Maybe he could have done a bit better with that. And I wouldn't be surprised if Keith Curle put Steve Arnold in goal next week. Not that I'm saying I want him to. It's just the sort of thing I think Keith Curle would do. He wasn't happy with Mitchell when he gave, his rubbish pass distribution, gave away the penalty, didn't it, against Burton on Saturday. And obviously Keith Curle thinks that his keeper should have saved that one tonight. So Maybe we'll see Steve Arnold back in goal against Fleetwood, but two really tough games, Fleetwood and Doncaster up next, which have obviously been welcomed by the fact that fans may be there. That game against Rochdale could be the last game that Cobblers play behind closed doors for a long while. Hopefully, there's talks that the EFL are going to bring the games a little bit further back to the Wednesday, so when the lockdown ends, maybe we'll be able to go in for those midweek games. But obviously, just take one thing at a time, just getting back into stadiums. If it's next Saturday, if it's in a month's time, if it's in 2 weeks' time, whatever, but getting back into stadiums is what we want, and we've really been given a glimmer of hope with that. So yeah, that's pretty much everything from me. Just a couple of notices. The details of the Football Content Awards are now available. We are obviously in the best young content creator category, and I want to thank you guys again for all voting for me and Will. So yeah, really appreciate that. The details of the stream, the awards are taking place on Tuesday the 8th of December, so that's in 2 weeks' time. They were originally scheduled for last week. They've been pushed back again. They're on Tuesday the 8th of December. There'll be a live stream, and I'll leave the details of that in the description. So yeah, thanks to you guys for your support on that. I was also on this week's It's All Cobblers to Me podcast as well. The podcast, in my opinion, the best podcast based on the Cobblers. So yeah, I'm on that. Make sure you go and check that out. I'll leave the link to that in the description as well. Apart from that, that's pretty much everything. Please make sure you leave a like on the video, hit subscribe. Let's try and get to 2,000 subscribers. What about by the end of the year? Ambitious. Probably not going to happen, but the only way it can happen is if you haven't seen my face on your screen, you hit that subscribe button and then get we one closer. So yeah, thanks very much for your support recently. Please do leave a like on the video, hit subscribe, let me know what you thought of the game. Not sure what we'll be doing at the weekend because obviously the Cobblers aren't in action, but I'm sure we'll have some sort of content out for you. And the only way you'll be able to see it again is if you subscribe. So yeah, hit the subscribe button, drop a like, and until next time, see you later. Bye-bye.